Thunderbolts movie review. Guys, Thunderbolts is a good movie, and I'm going to tell you why in this video. Thunderbolts is a return to form for the MCU. Now, guys, I got to tell you this straight up. I wasn't expecting that much from this, but I actually found myself having fun because this cast has some really good chemistry, and that pays off on the big screen when you go out to see this. Now, that being said, I thought that this was going to be sort of like the MCU version of the Suicide Squad, and it's really not. This story is basically all Yelena, and the other characters come in to support her kind of main arc of her coming to terms with, well, death and loss. And do you need to watch all of the TV shows leading into this? No, because I didn't. I didn't watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. I did watch Black Widow, though. So it did a decent job of letting you know who the other characters are in this. Enough. Now, I'm sure that it probably helps knowing who the other characters are, because I'm sure that there's a few nods and winks to who other people are, like the pseudo Captain America kind of character. And I kind of liked how this kind of unfolded, because it felt like a small mission of these people trying to figure out, yes, who the Sentry character is, who's the bad guy. The bad guy in this one, well, yeah, is it going to be that big floating Sentry character that we see floating in the sky? Yes, but it's also Julia Louis-Dreyfus, oddly enough. And I kind of liked how they paid tribute to Sam, like the Falcon, Winter Soldier, right? Of kind of like, well, this happened, and he's over there doing this thing, but this doesn't rely on the other supplemental material to really draw in and focus in on this story. And I think that's where this movie pays off. I had laughs with this. It had decent pacing. It was a touch long. Like, this movie comes in around the 2-hour and 6-minute mark. Could it have been shaved down a little bit? I think so. But Jake Schreier did a decent job with this. Sebastian Stan is good in this, as always. Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Louis Pullman comes in here as Bob. Yeah. David Harbour. Hey, guys, David Harbour always brings it, right? Wyatt Russell as John Walker. Hannah John Kamen, Ava Starr. Olga, okay. Now, you know, in the opening marketing for this, they showed that Taskmaster was part of this. It's very clear that when you watch the trailers that she's not in this group. So it's kind of like what you think is going to happen does happen. So there is a little bit of predictability with some of the plot, but I like the heart in this that's played out by Florence Pugh here, and breathing life into the Yelena character, because she wants to wash her hands of this old life of taking out bad guys or sometimes even good guys, right? She's bothered by that. And she has this really good back and forth with her father throughout the movie, Red Guardian there, played by David Harbour. And I do think that there are some good emotional payoffs. And by the end of this, you'll be like, yeah, we just watched a good MCU movie. So, that being said, let's go over to the score sheet here and start filling out some numbers for Thunderbolts. And then we'll go over to the tomato meter and see what people are saying. Acting, directing, and story out of a possible 2 points. Cinematography and score are out of 1 point. So, acting. Well, guys, is there anything in here worthwhile of an Oscar-worthy performance? No, but there is a cohesive ensemble here that does work well, bouncing off of each other. The ghost character, Hannah Kamen there, she does a great job. And then, yeah, David Harbour always brings it. And, yeah, Wyatt Russell also. He's also very good. Directing, it's competent. Like, the action is in there. It's well filmed. But there is some story and pacing issues in here. The story itself is pretty straightforward. It does acknowledge some other events in the MCU, so know that. But those events don't impact what's going on in this story. And that's what's really important, right? Is it something that is like really awesome, though? Is it? It's a good, solid film. Is it something that I could say, Yes, it had glimpses of like there being a really serious heart in there of being like, okay, you choose who you want to be. Are you going to be the good guy or are you going to be the bad guy? And does that pay off? I think it does. So I am going to give 1.5 for the story, but I reserve the right to come back to directing and maybe beef that up a little bit. Cinematography in this is well done. I'm going to give that a full point. The score is also surprisingly good in this. It's a good cinematic uh, theme built up through this cinematically. So that's 6 out of 10 right now for me. Thunderbolts. I think we should go over to the tomato meter here and see what people are saying about this movie. Thunderbolts, 88% by critics, 95% by the audience. So it is a overall universally loved movie because critics like it, and I think audiences are going to like this too. I just hope that there's good enough word of mouth here for the people who are a little bit, I don't know who these characters are exactly, because there's enough meat in here that is built by Florence Pugh that there's enough emotional gravity that I think casual fans will latch onto that as well. Let's go down to the snapshot reviews. Girl culture. Instead of another messy act of brand extension, Thunderbolts is the first Marvel project in a long time that feels like an actual movie. Yeah, it does. It does feel like a normal, cohesive, okay, we're in a bad situation here. Now we got to go figure out who the bad guys are and stop them, right? It doesn't feel like it's got this other big agenda of setting up another big universe, even though it kind of sort of does. That's what's cool about this movie. And you'll see that when you watch that. You'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's see if we can find somebody who didn't like it in the critics here. Richard Lawson, Vanity Fair. Alas, beat down little side adventures are not going to get the Marvel engine back up to full speed, and so Thunderbolts must inevitably draw the rest of the universe toward it, which makes all of its discrete actions seem thin and insufficient. No, I don't see. No, that reads like somebody who's just trying to say, well, I want it to be part of the bigger MCU and I want it to have consequences to the big MCU. And it's kind of like, no, this is just a small little mission and it keeps itself contained into that little mission. Yes, Sentry is a big character that shows up and has some consequences, but it doesn't warrant like the huge, let's call in the real Avengers kind of thing to deal with the situation. Yeah, some bad things happen towards the end. I'll acknowledge that, but it's explained in a way that makes sense. That's what I liked about it. Some other snapshot reviews of people who liked it. Let's just take a look down here. CBR, Thunderbolts is more than the next big MCU film as it marks the cinematic conclusion of Phase 5, leading into the Fantastic Four first steps. From here on out, things promise to get bigger and pack even greater punches. Well, again, that's somebody looking forward to stuff that's coming down the pipe and not really focusing in on this movie, right? Clunky, unfunny, distorted. No, I wouldn't say that. I would only say that if you're on your device looking at your phone all the time. And if you're somebody like that, then you're going to miss maybe some of the nuance. But there's some really good stuff in here, guys. Don't let it skip you by. It is worth seeing on the big screen. I saw it in 3D. You don't need to see this in 3D. There's it felt like one of those post-production 3D versions. I would just see it on the IMAX or see it on the 4K laser projections. That's where it's good and have good sound because this does have some good big explosive sequences that does pay off. Thunderbolts. Let's go down to the audience expectations here and reviews. Let's see what they said here. Great movie. I haven't seen a good Marvel movie in a while. Go see it. Well, Guardians 3, I think, is the last greatest one, right? Captain America 4 is just, it's a muddled mess. I understand that. Ron, don't walk to go see Thunderbolts. Yelena is the new heart of the MCU. David Harbour is a national treasure. And yeah, you guys, the Red Guardian, you're going to love him, which must be protected at all costs. Louis Pullman is fantastic. Yeah, the entire cast does a good job. They really do. And I like how Bucky is actually, I like the actual use of Bucky in this. Because if you guys don't know, I am Team Iron Man. So I side with him on that. And, Bucky, Yeah, we're not going to go down that avenue, but they do address Bucky's past here a bit, and he kind of tries to like show that, hey, you know, even though that you've done all these bad things, that perhaps you can change your ways, and you know, we all get to come back. Yeah, there's a message of hope in there, that despite all of the bad things that you do in your life, everything that you have built up inside you that makes you go, oh God, I wish I didn't do that. Well, it happened for a reason. And if you can internalize why that happened to you, then you get to come back. You get to be that person that you always wanted to be. And that's the message that Thunderbolts brings. Okay, so let's go and finish up my score sheet and we'll see where we land. The watchability factor is out of 2 points. If you like the trailers, you like the MCU, then I would say at least check it out once. And if it were, when it comes to Disney Plus, I think we might do a full live watch along. That's bouncing it up to 7.5. It's a good film, guys. It is a good film. I don't know where else I could probably put points here. Maybe I could bump directing up to 1.5, but there are some pacing issues in there. A little bit of editing issues in there that could have made it a little bit tighter. Like it felt competent, but are you going to struggle with it, James? Are you going to struggle with it? Like it's a really honest score, 7.5, and I do think I am going to bounce it up. There it is. 8 out of 10. Yep. 8 out of 10 for Thunderbolts, guys. What did you think? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, if you guys like this kind of stuff here on the channel, come join us here because we've got full reactions for Andor Season 2, Episodes 4, 5, and 6, as well as movie reviews for Until Dawn. The Accountant 2, that's another great one in theaters right now, guys, as well as Sinners, and full trailer reactions for Weapons and in Predator Badlands. We've done Survivor Season 48. We're doing those full live watch-alongs as well, and then occasionally during the week we do some movie news. So everything movies here on Mirror Domains. Let me know what you thought about Thunderbolts in the comments below. I'd love to talk about it with you. And I'll see you next time right here on Mirror Domains.